A derelict ship drifts towards Naboo, and the scanning base on the planet detects it and alerts their patrol craft to investigate. They communicate with the base that it is a cargo container adrift and are told to destroy it. They prepare to fire when the entire shell explodes. A couple of the Naboo ships are destroyed, the others veer away, but are soon pursued and destroyed. On the planet they see the dark fighters approaching and assume it to be the debris of the cargo container entering the atmosphere, and that they will burn up before they reach the surface. The planet of Naboo is a green marble with its forests and swamps, still largely as it was when humans first discovered it. The attacking ships, however, go down to the surface and then fly low over the forest canopy. When they come in, they fly over the 2 defense stations set around the capital. They fly over one defense station and destroy their communications tower. So much did its inhabitants wish to not destroy its natural state that they built their city upon a tall post which rises far above the forest canopy. The people of the planet Naboo are enjoying themselves in a large natural garden atop their city's structure, but some of them hear booming off in the distance. Everything within their city is made as a reflection of the joy of life with no malice or antagonism. But strange sounds fill the air, dark shapes appearing in the sky, and bolts of fire rip up the ground and throw them into a panic. Obi-Wan is waiting in the shuttle terminal, speaking on his communicator to Qui-Gon, who will be arriving shortly on a shuttle. He goes to a woman he knows, who works for security on Coruscant, whose name is Dilithium, while waiting for Qui-Gon's shuttle to land. He speaks to her until Qui-Gon arrives, and then he says goodbye to her and goes off with him, walking down the white hallway. Qui-Gon informs him that they have received word from the office of the Naboo delegation that there is a situation on Naboo. He says it is probably nothing, but they have been unable to establish communications with their planet for several days. He asks why they haven't sent anyone to investigate, and he replies that they have, and that they haven't communicated back either. He says that they came to the Jedi, but he believes that it is probably nothing but a good opportunity for him to deal with the matter on his own. Obi-Wan asks if such a thing is befitting of a Jedi to handle, but Qui-Gon says that you cannot expect every day you're going to rescue the princess and to save the galaxy. Sometimes there are more trivial matters to deal with, but it's best to send a Jedi to get an accurate assessment of the situation, or to deal with it if he can. He tells him that all he has to do is to find out the nature of the trouble they are experiencing, and to communicate this back to him if any further assistance is required. Qui-Gon says a ship is being prepared for him, and walks with him into the hangar. They enter the hangar bay and there is a shuttlecraft waiting for him. They approach a couple of the technicians and Qui-Gon tells them that this is Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi, and explains that they have outfitted his ship with a launchable relay satellite, which he can fire into orbit in case they have no other means to communicate. And he can also use this once he identifies what has gone wrong. He says to aid with astral navigation they have placed on board a tech robot called QB-14. They have also equipped him with a Naboo transponder signal which will identify him as a friendly ship, provided Naboo remains in friendly hands. Qui-Gon then leaves him, saying to him, "May the Force be with you." He climbs up and the technician goes off and is approached by a commanding officer, who asks if everything has been dealt with. He says that the Jedi is in the picture, and the commander turns and says, "Good." Obi-Wan launches, and then fiddles around with a few buttons on the control panel, somewhat out of sorts, telling QB he needs no help. And telling him he's doing fine, but tells QB that he's along for the whole ride, who replies with a note of disdain. He tells QB to prepare himself, pulls back 2 levers, and looks forward as the ship makes the jump into hyperspace. He comes out of hyperspace not far from Naboo, and sees the planet before him. Nothing looks unusual, but he is detecting no communications from the planet, and no satellites in orbit. Not even fighter craft, nothing at all around the planet. He gets a brief reply from QB, then says he's going to launch the temporary relay satellite. He goes through the appropriate calculations and launches it into orbit. It fires like a rocket from beneath the ship, and he tells the robot there's no need to send a signal back unless they are calling for help, but he tells him to send just an informational one, that there was no satellite, and that they launched the one they brought. QB acknowledges and sends the message, while Obi-Wan takes the ship down towards the planet. He says that there is nothing coming through, no transmissions of any kind. He descends through the clouds and emerges above a vast forest canopy that stretches for miles. Obi-Wan pilots the craft, attempting to locate the capital, which is still a few miles ahead. He gets within range and sees, according to his telescopic viewer, that the capital has objects swarming around it like flies. And as soon as he approaches, a few of these break away and head in his direction. He is unable to identify them, but then says he isn't even sure if they are friendly or not. They begin to fire on him, and he attempts to escape them, but his craft is bulky while theirs are designed for terrestrial maneuverability. The craft bear down on him, and he faces imminent destruction.